Welcome to the realm of intoxicating flavors and head-banging beer reviews.
Welcome back to another episode of the Rare Beer Club. I'm your host, the Ginger Yeti, and if you're new to the channel, the Rare Beer Club is a subscription service put out by the Beer of the Month Club. I receive a box like this every month that contains 2 hand-selected beers, costs about $60, and I unbox them live, or I box them on the video, choose one randomly to review blindly, and then I review the other one on another video. So this box here is from August 22nd of 2023. If you watch my channel enough, you know that I have a backlog of these. So let's get these out here. They come with this paperwork. Pull out both the bottles. We'll look at each one, and then we'll figure out which one that I want to review. Let me get this box out of the way here. Get that all out of the way. So they come with this cool paperwork. And the beers that I have here are Funkwerks, never heard of them, from Fort Collins, Colorado, Wild number 3. And, another Broken Bow Brewery from Tuckahoe, New York, Wheat Wine Ale. I think pretty sure I've had beers from Broken Bow before. So this is the Wheat Wine Ale, crafted with artisanal red wheat. And the other one, which I'll probably review, is the Funkwerks Wild number 3, Foudre-Aged Wild Ale. That sounds delicious. So the wheat wine ale is a wheat wine brewed with artisanal red wheat, 8% alcohol. The other one is the Wild number 3 is a Foudre-Aged Wild Ale, 7.5% alcohol. And I think I'm going to do the Funkwerks one because a Foudre-Aged Wild Ale sounds delicious. And I'm not really in the mood for a wheat wine because wheat wine to me sounds like barley wine, but I will review this at a later date. Just have to check back and see when I do it. So let me put this away here, and we'll get on into it. So this is the the Funkwerks Fort Collins, Colorado, Wild number 3. Pretty nondescript label there. Just a silver crown. On the bottle here it says, "Our third batch of this funky wild ale was aged for over 1.5 years in our 800-gallon Hungarian oak foeder. There, the resident Brettanomyces went to work deep in the wood grain to create complex flavors of ripened fruit. With bright notes of spice from our house yeast, this ale is crisp, dry, and full of untamed flavor. 750 ml, bottled on 12/2/2022, so December 2nd, 2022. This is May 6th, 2025, 7.5% alcohol. Barrel room reserve, fruit tart dry, Fort Collins, Colorado, Funkwerks. That's a neat bottle. I'm really excited about this one. And they always tell you suggested glassware on this paperwork. Suggested glassware is tulip, goblin, or nonnet glass. That's why I always pick like a goblet snifter kind of glass, because generally it's always goblet or snifter kind of glass they recommend amongst the recommended glassware. So, come to this cool paperwork, read over it a little bit, and we'll see what we can find out. When we first encountered Funkwerks several years ago, they seemed to have come out of nowhere, but they certainly made their mark on brewing world in short order. In winter of 2009, Funkwerks founders were just meeting for the first time in professional brewing school. Apparently I can't read. My great American education at work right here. Gordon Shuck and Brad Lincoln were both attending Siebel Institute in Chicago. They were quickly working to get a new venture called Funkwerks aloft, working out test batches of their Saison and White in Gordon's backyard. The prototype batch of Saison was finally completed in June of the following year, a journey that had started with homebrewing almost a decade earlier. Still remained at a very modest production scale. They had transitioned from backyard test batches to a single-barrel warehouse and then to a 15-barrel system shortly before officially opening the Funkwerks taproom in December of 2010. Following year, Funkwerks Saison was awarded a silver medal at the Great American Beer Festival. In 2012, Funkwerks was named Small Brewing Company of the Year, and both Saison and Deceit, a Belgian-style golden ale, took home gold at the Great American Beer Festival. And Saison picked up another gold medal at the GABF in 2017. Funkwerks has much of their focus dedicated to producing Saison and wild ales in Belgium's traditional Wallonian vein. Make no mistake, Saisons were historically a rather motley crew of artisanal beverages to start off with, adhering to the seasonal cycles and the local harvest allowances, but that doesn't mean they should be purple. What? That doesn't mean they should be purple, sweet and like a nose of banana, just because they started with a reasonably wide berth. We tend to very much go toward Funkwerks' take on Saisons. What defines these beers as a style are an extremely high attenuation, which means dryness, and a spicy flavor profile due to the unique yeast strain. Not overly constraining, it hits our top two archetype points for what we expect from any sort of beer, labeled Saison or wild ale. The results from Funkwerks' philosophy on the topic tend to speak for themselves. The Funkwerks Wild number 3 is a limited production beer with only 800 gallons of it produced from a single Foudre. Well, they have it Foudre and Foudre, Foudre/Foudre, FOEDER/FOUDRE. Its availability is limited to the brewery's Fort Collins, Colorado tap room, select stores in the Denver, Colorado area, and the Rail Beer Club. So you'll never find this beer unless you're in Fort Collins. We don't come across too many U.S.-produced Foudre-Aged Wild ales, though we certainly try to. Funkwerks has taken their third batch of this funky wild ale, a variation on their award-winning Saison, and allowed that delightful core beer to do its aging thing in their 800-gallon Hungarian oak Foudre for over 18 months. Hungarian oak, if you're not familiar with it, has many virtues to add to brewing. Like other oak, it adds flavor, tannin, and texture to the beer that is matured in it. But the Hungarian oak's tighter grain structure allows beer to mature more slowly for a longer time in the barrel, over a year and a half in the case of Funkwerks Wild number 3, without the end product being overly oxidized. Sounds good? This allows the beer to draw in the oak's natural vanillin, slowly and consistently adding long, fine strands of texture to the mouthfeel. Besides vanilla flavors, Hungarian oak differs from French or American oak varieties with flavor of clove, cinnamon, and hints of butterscotch. That sounds amazing. This ale pours a vibrant golden orange color with a good bit of haze, capped by crisp white foam that leaves delicate lacing behind it. There's a juicier feel to this beer that we really dug, and at certain angles in the light it seems to glow. While one of the recurrent themes here is pretty much guaranteed to be how dry and perfectly crisp this is, there's also a lot of plush tropical fruit in the nose. We found the lime, passion fruit, apricots, and spice notes from the wood peppery notes from Brettanomyces and Funkwerks house yeast, and an undercurrent of toasty malts and candied oranges. So let's open it up, see if they're correct here. And I'll put the Untapped and Beer Advocate down there, since I don't have them, since I'm doing this blind. Didn't blow up. Don't see it creeping up the bottle here. Like I said, it's just a nondescript silver cap. One of those kind of caps you'd buy at a home brew store. Let's get it in the glass and look at the color, look at the scents. No real head to speak of there. Well, a little bit starting to form. Doesn't smell as funky as I thought it would. Definitely smells of like tropical fruit. Yeah, a little bit of passion fruit, a little bit of lime. Not really getting any spice notes. Maybe a hint of oak, but it's really just like passion fruit and lime forward. And that's a beautifully colored beer. A nice orangish color. Can't see through it. Probably about a 11 on my SRM chart there. Had a slight head to it, but now it's just some big fisheye bubbles clinging to the side of the glass. Man, I hope this is funky and tart. With so many lush flavors, you might think the result is sweet brew. But to the contrary, it's super dry and crisp. The reason that it succeeds so well is the fact that it balances those carefully placed edges with some brilliantly presented fruit sweetness, plus mellowing oak and vanilla notes. Let's see. Very dry. Very, very dry. It's actually sweeter than I thought it would be. Sweet fruits, tropical fruits, a little bit of oakiness. The oak aging on this beer is especially well handled, with the Foudre's contributions coming through with notes nearing almond, soft vanilla, and a welcoming edge of tannins from the extended oak contact. I could probably see the almond. This is sweet, fruity, absolutely delicious. I mean, you get that kind of Saison tart funk, but it's the funk's not real pronounced. As we become accustomed to wow, somebody needs to proofread these better. As we've become accustomed to from previous Funkwerks release, this is definitely built and combines the various elements of ripe fruit layers, spice, and oak to make one of the best wild ales we've tasted in a long time. Not really getting any spice. In addition, we noticed ginger, hints of mango, white pepper, candied Meyer lemon, and some robust doughiness in the middle of everything. Fusing this delicious elixir together, a full-bodied and complex beer, the Wild Number 3 has a lightly prickly mousse and a long, drawn-out finish exhibiting fine textures. No. A little bit of funk, like that Saison funk, a little bit of tartness, sweet tropical fruits, maybe a little bit of oakiness. I could pick up some almond, like almond flavor, like you get in an almond tort, which is almost like cherry. I don't know about doughiness. Maybe on the very back end, you might get some peppery spiciness. And on the aging and pairing notes, it says the bottle can be further aged for 3 to 5 years and beyond. So I'm well within date on this beer. On the front side, it does give you, again, it gives you the temperature range. We'll pull out my handy dandy infrared thermometer, see what range I'm in. It says 46 to 53. I'm at 57. The bottle's at 50. So it was probably about 50 degrees when I poured it, maybe a little lower, in the range of the temperature. As it warms, I am getting a little more of that funk. Get some oakiness. It is super, super drying. Don't notice the alcohol at all. Now, I always say this. I don't know that my palate is refined enough to appreciate these beers. Or maybe these people are just making stuff up. Because I don't pick out near the flavors and scents and whatever that the paperwork says. But this is an excellent beer. Really good, sweet tropical fruit flavor. Some funky, like the Saison funky, I don't want to say horse blanket, but getting close to horse blanket kind of funk around the edges. A little bit of oakiness. Very, very drying. I'm going to enjoy this entire bottle. This is a very nice Saison. I give this Funkwerks Wild Number 3 2 big horns up. This is absolutely magnificent. It's an excellent beer. Really tasty, really delicious. Done a really good job with this. Hope you all think I did a really good job with this video. Have you had anything from Funkwerks before? I've been to Fort Collins a couple of times, never been to this brewery. I'd like to go visit this brewery at some point. Have you been to Funkwerks? If this is a good representation of their beers, I would love to go to their brewery. This is an excellent beer. And I hope you think I have an excellent video. And as always, embrace the adventure.